Today let me rant about pricing and inflation because inflation is a tough thing to deal with. You lose buying power. And since 2020, this is October 2025, the price of goods, food, everything, it's up 23 to 25%, right? Now, it started back in 2020 as supply chain issues during the COVID period. They couldn't get ships to bring materials in. You couldn't get the distribution of products done efficiently, and the costs. Plus, there was a huge demand and relatively little supply. So what do you do as a capitalist? And you can't tell me you wouldn't do this. If you could produce something at home and sell it on the market, right? And you were working 17 hours a day because demand was so high, and you started increasing your pricing, maybe because of your raw materials, maybe you're just going to do it because you want to cut back, and this is what, in economics, we're kind of like, hey, you maximize the opportunity, right? You raise your prices to that level where the two curves kind of intersect, where you're doing it the most efficiently and you're making the most money. That's what capitalism does, right? So I think in 2020 and 2021, that's what we saw. Hey, companies were like, hey, I can get this product to the market and stuff like that. And they were price testing. They were saying to themselves, what could we charge and still sell the same amount? Well, they kept raising prices. Demand didn't go down at all, okay? So if you look in the stock market and you look at the individual price of a stock and its increase, and this is why the stock market's done pretty well. They've increased the prices and demand has kept up. Now, at some point, that's going to turn, and you already kind of see it. McDonald's they're bringing back like the value menu, whereby they're trying to get floor traffic, and now we're kind of getting back into a competitive model, all right? If your competition down the street is increasing their prices and you're not seeing a drop, you increase your price because you don't have to compete. You've got more business than you need. That's kind of what went on. I've noted in the automotive side of things, with the exception of Toyota, Toyota's got Tundras and Tacomas in stock, but a lot of their other vehicles you really can't get. Their order outs, there's a strong demand, and that's usually what happens when things tighten up a little bit. People actually spend more for quality. And I'm not saying Toyota's the highest quality or anything like that, but that's the perception, right? And sometimes perception is reality. Anyway, I'm seeing dealer lots that there's more and more vehicles. Now I'm seeing incentives and rebates, discounts, everything like that, right? So as the economy continues here, I think you're going to see a leveling off of pricing because it's kind of getting to that point where, I know restaurants are really struggling right now. The price of beef is really high. And at some point, people just kind of change their eating habits and everything like that. It gives the entrepreneur time to kind of figure out, how do I build more value for a great price, instead of just going, I can ask just about any price and people are going to come and buy it and I'm making a lot of money. It's like when you go, like if you go to a large event, like I go to Sturgis, let's say. Well, the vendors there are like, hey, I've got these sandwiches. Normally I sell them for $8 a sandwich. I can charge $15 and I've got a line all day long, okay? and you can get away with it. It's demand is that high. So that's kind of how it works. I really am tired of the whole inflationary thing. It should really drop. I don't, you know, the whole thing with the housing industry, I still blame that on Vrbo and all of these Airbnbs. They took single family homes off the market because the numbers worked. I only have to have somebody in here 10, 11 days out of the month, and it covers my interest payments and all that stuff. So these higher interest payments and everything probably will have slowed that down. And, you know, as a business model, it's not as efficient as hotels. So I'm kind of hoping that a lot of these houses come back on the market, which means your supply and demand will start to kind of readjust to a more normal pricing in the housing market, because it's ridiculous when you look at how much houses have gone up over the last couple of years. And so going forward, we'll see. My prediction is prices are going to start leveling off, the markets will become more efficient, and just like any other economy, when there's a lot of money to be made in it, in a capitalistic market, there will be people entering into these markets to deliver a higher or a high quality product for less money. And that's what we're all looking for, and that's today's thought.